Alright, we're back. I'm not sure, I think you didn't. I hope you had audio from the clips. It somehow reset a few of my microphones, so it might just be that the audio settings aren't playing the clips in the monitor. I hope it's just that. Alright, so now, so you at least have a little bit. Okay, that wasn't what I wanted to do, but it works too. So, inventory, notebook. Here we have the circle with the numbers, and it's nice. It's only quartered, eighth, so I can actually draw it easily. So one circle, second circle, not quite a line, but hey, straight line down, straight line across, diagonal upper right to lower left, diagonal upper left to lower right. Okay, and now let's see. Number one is here, and I'll write that in Roman numerals, thank you. 2 is here, not Roman, I mean Arabic numerals, like everyone. These are almost Roman numerals after all. So where's 3 is over there. 4 is up here. And now 5 is the long dash. So that's here. Then that with 1 dash is down here is 6. Now that with 2 dashes, 7 is up there. The nice thing of me copying these numbers is that I can see if I get some wrong, because I should get duplicates. So 8. Oh no, wait. That's not 8. That's 13. And I don't have an eraser. Well, let's just cross that out again. Where is 8 is here. 8. And now that one line with 4 is here. So that's 9. Then 2 lines is 10. I already did something. Wrong. That's 5. That's 10. Oh, 5 is mispositioned on my sketch. Needs to go up by 1. Okay. Alright, 10. 11 is over there. 12, that's where I had placed the 5, which was wrong. 12. Now $13 is down here. Alright. Now where 14 is down there. And then 15 should be the 3 long lines. That's here. 15. Oh, you can actually hear my pencil with the microphone. That's nice. And then 16. Okay. So now we've got all the numbers. And now let's go out again. Alright, so let's see. This shape is around 2, 8, and 4. Wow, this microphone is really good at picking that up. Okay, 2, 4, and 8. And here it's 14 is at the bottom. Whoops, I can probably do it like this. So that is 4, 8, and 2. This is 14, and then the next one is 9. I need to shade in the inner areas a bit because otherwise it won't look right. So 9, 12, and 10. Alright, 12 and 10. And then the 16, apparently. Alright. So that, I don't know if you can see this. Of course you can't. Because it's trying to optimize it out. So I've drawn a little picture with the elements. I don't have the hole in the middle, so they end up pointy in the middle. But like it's in general the same shape. I think it's even... No, it's flipped for you because the camera is flipped. Anyway, now I guess I'll go from the lowest number that is still available. So that means 2, 4, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, 16. Yes, okay. At least they're kind of grouped together. Okay. So, if we're lucky, that should work. Must follow red dot. Oh yeah, that's funny. I'm so mad I didn't think of that. Ooh, red dot. Ooh, 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 ooh. All right, let's see. 2, 4, 8. 9, 10. Hello? 10, 12, 14, 60. Ooh, yeah. Oh. And is this now the gate? Okay, guess I need a different pen. And of course, it's upside down now. So I guess we'll have to do... I think I'll draw a new one. Let's number... That's, I think, easier. So my big question now is... whether I now actually will have to rotate it. Like, will I have to go with the numbers upside down? Because... I mean, this has the arrows painted in, right? I guess I'll do it the right way around first. Draw a hint at the arrow. And now have to do this again. 1... Where is the 2? Here. 2, 3. Four is up here. And now 5 is the long line. That's here. And now the long line with 1 dash is here, is 6. With 2 dashes here, 7. Long line with 3 dashes is here, is 8. Long line with 4 dashes is next to the 1 and is 9. And now 2 long lines is 10. Now 2 long lines with 1 dash is 11. 2 long lines with 2 dashes is 12. 2 long lines with 3 dashes is 13. 2 long lines with 4 dashes is 14 down here, and 15 is up here, and 16 is here. Okay, so now I have a straight one side up thing. And now I'll rotate that 180 degrees. And now let's see. So this is 16, and the 7 and the 15 are all together. And now the 4 is as well. Okay, so we've got this one. Now this one is the 2. That's kind of alone. Alright, and now here, that's the 1 and the 14. And the 3. Alright, that looks good. Again, let's see if I can show you this. So basically I've drawn these. And now I need to leave it upside down and find out. So 1 and 3 are here. Oh, and 2 is over here. So 1, 2, 3. Then 4, 7, 14, 15, 16. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 14, 15, 16, yeah. Alright. Here goes nothing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 14, 15, 16. Okay. That doesn't work. So that means maybe the numbers don't get rotated. Alright, so let's make a second copy of this. All right. One. I can just copy those now. Two, 13, 6. Alright. But now I need to turn this shape upside down. So what I'm doing now is drawing this shape on the upside, on the right side up table of numbers. So ignoring that it's been rotated by 180 degrees. It's kind of misleading if this is the right solution. That didn't just click wrong. Alright. Just to be sure. Wait. This is the wrong one. Is this the same shape? Yes. Alright. So let's see. 1 is now down here. 3, 4, 6, 7. 1, 3, 4, 6, 7. And then 12, 14, 15. Okay. One, 3, 4, 6, 7, 12, 14, 15. Okay, that's not it either. So let's try the previous one. Or I guess I could try this one, but upside down as well. But the previous one, I think, made some noise. Oh, and is there anything, any secrets written anywhere? Nope. One. Oh, come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 14, 15, 16. Nope, doesn't work either. So let's try it right way around. Oh. Oh, I did something wrong. Because now I have two identical ones. So I didn't rotate it before I filled in the shape. So we've already tried the other option I thought of. Ten, 5, 16, 15, 7, 4, 11, 2, 8, 13, 6. Okay. No, wait. No, I have both shapes right. So the question is... Okay, let's try this one. I guess let's try each one the other way around. It's a bit complicated now, because I don't really know which ones I've tried yet. 1, 3, 4, 6, 7, 12, 14, 15. Okay. 12, 14, 15. That doesn't work. Now let's try it upside down. So I have two drawings now. I have one with the numbers upside down because, you know, the arrow is here on the picture. So kind of the numbers need to be rotated when it is. And then this shape marked on top of it. And I have one with the numbers the right way up and the shape on top of it. And of course, that gives me a different cutout. And so now I have to try basically 4 combinations, and I might have done one double. So let's try this one. So now 1, 3, 4, 6, 7, 12, 14, 15. Thank God. I would have had one combination left, I guess. And so let's see. So that was the numbers upside down. And the shape upside down too. So this shape is the right way around for this, right? Yeah, exactly. So if you take the numbers the right way around and apply this shape to them, and then take the things that are covered by the shape in the order of their numbers and type them in upside down, then you get the right result. Jesus. Ha 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 ha. Okay. This is mean. So how? That's what I need the bucket for. I need to Indiana Jones it. Okay, now I get it. Alright, so first we need to grab one of those nuts. To weigh it. Take you, for example. Finally, we know what to do. Do 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 do. I'm always walking this way. I can just walk this way, right? Do 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 do. So apparently I've already done the right weight. Okay, so my bucket is already right. Good, that was fast. Just by playing around earlier. Ooh. Now I need to put the nut back or I won't be able to get back in. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. So this is the right spot. Where is my bucket? Yep.
Who are you that wanders this world uninvited? Another explorer? What are you seeking? Power? Immortality? Or are you just a fool looking for salvation? You can't simply enjoy the power of Quern, not without consequences. You must leave the same way you came here, for your own sake.
Friend or foe? Achievement unlocked. Alright. That was loud, by the way. I hope my, no, probably not that much of a difference. Where am I even walking? I don't know how to walk. How to return the way I came. Okay, now we have something in the lab and one right around the corner. So let's see what that looks like. Ooh. The mines. Okay. That's a bridge, apparently. Okay. Plus, plus, minus, minus. Plus. Yeah. Minus. Yeah, I kind of got that the top ones subtract and the lower ones add, but it doesn't seem to be obvious which one does what, and they don't look distinct enough that I can kind of remember which one I used. So let's take this one, this one, this one, this one. No. Don't know yet. Maybe. Nope. No secret messages. The ancient gateways. The ancient gateways are links between the worlds of the world chain. Even though these passageway entrances are part of our world since time immemorial, our knowledge of them is very limited. As the material of these portals is literally invulnerable, sampling them and determining their age has been impossible so far. The mystery of the gateways serves as the cradle of many different religions around the world chain. According to the teachings of the Bakunists, 19, Bakun was a spiritual guru who started the Bakunist pilgrimage. He mysteriously disappeared in a passage between two ancient gateways at the age of 109. The journey between two portals is a step towards the liberation of the soul. These people gave up their pasts to become lifelong travelers. Many believe that the gateways are divine gifts, and they worship these monuments as the shrines of their gods. Some groups are covering their portals with flowers and fruits of their worlds as a celebration, though several cultist tribes around the Lashan line believe that human blood must be offered to their gods, and use the gateways as their sacrificial altars. A prominent theory states that the gateways are devices built by a technologically advanced, long-extinct ancient civilization. As they serve as the very pillars of the interworld communication and the most important passages of the Empire's trade routes, the gateways are essential elements of all civilized worlds. So basically it's Stargate. Hi Tony, it's going reasonably well. So I found a few new locations, turned on a few more things, and now am flummoxed, as the technical term goes, by this bridge, which will turn on and immediately off if I use this switch here. And there's this nice machine. So we have 4 tries, I see that much. Or 5 tries? Alright. So... 1, 2... So, bottom. Let's try left. There's no clear... Let's see. Let's try each one once. So the left one goes to here. So that's green +1. Let's make a note. G +1. Let's just... Okay. And now this one is G -1. So that's the difference. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that one, the left one is 7. And now let's turn both up, and now we're on red plus 1. And now we use the top one. Red plus 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the top one is minus 7. Now use this one. It's again plus 7. And now the right one is probably minus 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Minus 5. You just got home. Gonna check soon the thing you asked. Ah, yeah, have fun. It's, you know, I just thought you probably know that offhand and could fix it. If you don't, or if you don't have time, it's fine, you know. It just felt wrong to see that wrong there. Alright, so we need to get to here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we need 11. So now the problem is, how do I get to 11 just with 5 and 7 steps? So if I do 5 and 7, I get 12. If I then do minus 5, I get 7. That's not possible, right? I would need at least one different number. Otherwise I can just do and undo numbers. Like if I do a 7 and then subtract 5 from it, I get a 2. But I would need a 1 to be able to get to 11. Like 6 plus 5. Am I mathematically wrong here? If this is minus 7, this is minus 5. This is plus 5, so right hand side is 5, left hand side is 7. And up here is maths. Exactly. Yeah. Hi, RNG God, by the way. Nice to see you here. Yeah, I don't see how I would do this, because I can only add a number and undo it again. So 4 plus 7 is 11. That works. Okay. So I have to do, to get 4, I have to do, let's see, plus 7 minus 5 plus 7 minus 5, and then I have 4, and then plus 7. Can that be right? So that means 3 times 7 is 21, minus 10 is 11. Yeah. Okay, so alternate between plus 7 and minus 5. And that means left and right. Okay, it works after all. Okay, so 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. All right. Something is buzzing. Woo! Okay. Surprised that that worked. Oh, and here is now a part of one of those batteries, I guess. Ah. And that's the door we weren't able to open all the time. I'm surprised I managed to make that, to do that. Alright, what's this here? Nothing we can interact with, apparently. No idea what this does. I mean, this feels a bit like a scale. Oh. Oh, okay. The yellow generates less power than the white one. What's that supposed to mean? Seems like there's something that should go in there. I don't think we have anything. guess we can... I think that goes in the smelting pot. And maybe we can use that to build the other half.
This is the exact place where I achieved the breakthrough. After hundreds of failed attempts, I finally managed to create a much more efficient energy source, capable of providing a relatively large amount of power constantly. This white luminous mineral is the compressed and purified version of the natural, locally common, reddish-orange colored energy crystal. To be able to cast specific machine parts, I developed a procedure to liquefy this new crystalline material. I thought that a discovery of this magnitude could change the subject of my whole research, even the meaning of my presence here. I was right.
Without knowledge, skill is nothing. Alright. He's so pretentious. Ah, okay. He focuses the crystals into these silver things and they activate. And I guess that's the material. And... oh. So I guess we need to smelt some white crystal from somewhere into that. So where do we find... oh, maybe we need to find the yellow crystal. Oh, cool detail. There's a gap in the ground where you see some blue crystal. So I guess this is the mine. Ah, now I've locked it in place, apparently. Or didn't? No, I did. Okay. So we don't really know where we get that, but my guess is we are making a torch that is white and goes in there, because this looks like the light receptor lenses on those little toys that were rotating. So this is probably something where we maybe rotate the entire building, and that way maybe we get an exit to back out there. Just a random theory. don't know where we can find... Oh, right. We turned on a light in the lab, didn't we? What was that? Still have to go there. Wait, first... Let's see, where is that? Here? Yeah, that works. So now we have to put a crystal in there. Wait, maybe we'll keep this, but we can put this in there. Let's put this in there as a reminder. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, that's actually a good reminder. This sketched screenshot function is not bad. I mean, in general, I think games like these should have a built-in, either, you know, a notebook that just notes stuff down for you, or at least a screenshot function, maybe even with the notebook. But, you know, not a single-use notebook, please. Alright, let's see. Here, that has opened now. Ah. Good that I kept it. So it's coming together. So now we go. Where was the smelters? Here, right? Here. No. I'm lost again. Ah, here. Why did I miss this? Oh, because I came from here. So I always turn left instead of right, and that's it. And now we need to get the fire thing, I guess, to heat it up. But I'm actually surprised I figured the number thing out. Okay, and now we go back into the mine. Because it had a machine that would plonk the crystal out once it's fully baked, right? That's what this one is for, right? Okay. Ah, now I can get it out. Oh, and this device is broken now. Okay. And now we put that in the chompy machine to build the last one. Chompy machine was in the room itself. Here. Alright, let's see. This first. This next. This last. Okay. All the batteries, and now we have the gear buildings as well. Woo! Okay, so that should be this building, and let's see if that's the other side. Okay, that's blocked, but that looks different, and it looks like it rotates. And I think, yes, here as well. Okay, so at least the blocking door has opened, and that hopefully means, once we've waited for this climbing animation. Here's the thing, if you ever design a game with a ladder, make it, like, I know why they did this, you know? Like, you have the regular movement, and moving up or down in a straight location, like you would do with a ladder, is completely different, you know, because it violates gravity. So you can't just say, well, be on the ground. So you have to turn a lot of things off. And if anything goes wrong during that, your character will fly into the sky. Or something like that. Or fall through the floor. Or if you remember the bug I mentioned that the Outer Worlds had, where during a cutscene, state transitions were turned off. So, you know, nothing could happen while you were talking to someone else. And the problem was, if a character was climbing a ladder, they couldn't end the ladder climb because that straight transition wasn't allowed. So they just kept climbing up and up and up into the air, out of the spaceship, and when you finished the conversation, they would finally be able to transition to normal gravity again and fall to their death. And if you were on hard mode, where, you know, death of a companion in the game was final, then you had moments where it was just you returned to the spaceship, your character were walking around up and down the ladders in the spaceship, and you started a conversation, and suddenly you failed all missions involving a particular companion because the companion was supposedly dead. Although the companion was still there because they couldn't permanently die in the spaceship. So it was just like they had that moment of dying and then were immediately resurrected. And so, yeah. So if you think about that, you know, it's easy to understand why they just went, if you approach this ladder, we'll just play this animation and place you at the top. So it's basically just taking one step forward and you jump up. But one good trick to avoid these issues, even if you just put a movie like that in there, is make it so that the shift key still works. So that basically, while you are on the ladder, you have playback controls over the movie. So you can just hit shift to play the movie faster. So it seems like, you know, you're running, you're really hustling up, and you don't have to wait each time. And maybe even make it possible to, you know, use W and S to change playback direction. Or even, you know, that you play while you are in this playback direction. That kind of, as long as you hold W or S, the movie plays, and it pauses playing if you don't do that. Then it just feels as if you could climb up. That, of course, I don't know, maybe there are problems, but I think that might be a good trick. So basically, you pause the game, put this climbing movie on with controls, and it's basically like a cutscene, and your character is just moved up, you know. Alright, so let's see. So we can't really see the door. That looks like the window is open. Oh, here. I see the outlines. And I guess I have to make them both match. Huh. Not quite sure. It feels... okay, it's just that. Okay. You know what? This is the same puzzle I have on weekdays in Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. With the concentric circles that have to be rotated to match. Okay, so this goes here. Let's see. Okay, these two rotate together. I'll have to see. These two rotate together. So I have to make this and the outer one match. So this moves the outer one, and this is the only one that moves independently. And this one moves with the outer one. And this one moves with the outer one. So, wait. So let's move this one. And who else can move the outer one? No. I don't... Wait. Yeah, this one I can move alone, so now I can finish it. So I don't know if that did anything useful, but let's see. where this is now. Whether that opened the door or at least gives us a glance inside. No, it actually... Oh, it opened a window. Huh. It's a bit annoying, because that means it's the wrong place. You wrote something as a response. Nothing important, so no need to worry about it now. Okay, thanks. Yeah, if you just want to give me a few hints, I'm happy to write it myself. Okay. So this looks so what if we rotate this differently? So these seem to be the windows. So let's see. This might take us a few hours to figure out, especially since I've already forgotten what combinations we have to move stuff in. I just know that there's one. Okay, so the outer one. Oh, there's a black line here. So this idiot should have probably used that one. Alright. So this one is the only one that we can move independently. So we'll have to see how we can align all of them. Yeah, this one we can move independently. So no, but one is still wrong. Yeah, this one we can use because that's the one we can rotate, right? No, it isn't. I don't know what this lever is. I wish there was a backwards lever though. Right, we can use this one to move the inner one. So if we want to move the outer one, make sure that we move the inner one along with it, because then we can use it with the second outermost one. That's basically the trick. And the second outermost one we can control on its own. Okay. Let's see what that did. There's definitely something glowing there. Oh. The door is actually open. Cool. The mechanics. So, where is Mike?
You've managed to get into the mechanics. Clearly, you've completed all of my previous challenges. This could mean that you are a genius, fulfilling all of my expectations, and you are truly worthy of all the further knowledge I'm about to offer you. Or you could just as well be a fool, considering the fact that the power of Quern literally gives you infinite time to guess the solutions of all my puzzles. One way or the other, I'm sure your presence here is no mistake. Your participation in this matter is absolutely essential. If she were to appear to you, she would try to poison your mind with her misleading lies. You must ignore her, just as I once did.
By hard work, all things increase and grow. So there's a bunch of gears here. Okay. I like that Mr. I'm a pretentious professor, I've known everything, still misspells all of my previous challenges. Okay, this thing... From number 5, number 3 is reachable with a knight's move. The sum of the numbers in the third row is 7. Number 4 stands alone in the column on the far left. In none of the rows can stand a number that's greater than the numbers in the row below it. If you add up all the numbers in the fourth column, the result is 3. Number 5 is the only one standing alone in both its row and column. That looks suspiciously like a Sudoku. Okay. That one's some L-shaped key-like thing. I don't think we have anything like that. Okay. I think this is the numbers. The question... So these are these number pieces. I'm kind of hoping that this thing, that we get something out of this that will let us open that thing. Okay, and I guess if I rotate it by 180 degrees, I can probably get the remaining switches or something. The remaining numbers here or so. Okay, I can move these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. So I guess we'll do some more rotating. I'm a rotating tootin' cowboy. Okay, so again, let's see. The inner one is the one we can move together with the outer one safely. So let's first rotate that one. Alright. actually, once I've aligned them, I can just rotate them in 2 steps. Nice. Let's see what this other side offers. Ah, okay, this door is locked. What about this one? This one is now open. I didn't want to play Simon Says game. Wait, let's save here. First, I haven't saved all day. And second, this last one will probably be long and I'll screw it up. The fuck? No, sorry. I can't keep that in my head. Do the people who created this game really think that people can just memorize a tune like that? I guess the only thing I can think of is cheat. Which means take out your phone, turn on the camera, point it at the screen, and then you get infinite replays. If you forget something, then you can take notes. Although, I have a bad angle. Let me just turn that light away. Okay. Video. Ah, damn it, too late. Did it in the wrong order. How many notes are these? Okay. Let's start recording. Okay, so now imagine you didn't have your cell phone with you on an island like this. Or worse, your charger. If you're missing your charger. Okay. So this is a bit annoying. I think I should paint this thing first and then draw numbers. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different ones. So, going really hardcore analog here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's beautiful, isn't it? I don't know if you can see this. It's basically 5 over an entire A4 page. And now I'll replay this a couple of times and try to note down which node in what order by just writing numbers in the fields. Already too fast, but I've got the first one, I guess. Oh, I can actually scroll. Scrub back after all. 1, 2. Okay, again. 1, 2. This is way too. Do I have a speed control? No. Well, I guess I can just scrub by hand. Yeah, okay. 1, 2 is 2 down, 3 is in the middle, 4 is at the bottom, 5 is in the middle, 6 is at the bottom, 7 is the second one from the top, 8 is again at the bottom, 9 is the second from the bottom, 10 is the second from the bottom too, and 11 is the top. And then 12 is the second from the top, and then 13 is the middle. 13 notes. I'm like, do they really think people get that without 8? Like, this seems really weird. Okay, again, cross-check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 'Wait, I think something was wrong there. Dang it. Okay, turn it on, and 1 is that one. This is, I know this is exciting content for you because you can't see me scrubbing through the movie. I'm sorry. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Uh-oh. That's 6. So that 6 is 7. And that 7 is 8. And that 8 is 9. And that 9 is 10. And 11. That 11 is 12. And the 12 is 13. And the 13 is even 14 notes. Seriously? Okay, let's go back to the start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No. Seriously. Okay. I'll start from fresh. 1, 2. Wait, I can probably make it a little more interesting for you if I start... Wait, didn't I have reflector? Oh, I guess that was before the system reinstall. Okay. Let's see if maybe I can give you a second webcam. Let's see, maybe that would work. Okay, you have a webcam. Alright, so at least now you should be able to see something, right? Yes. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not very straight, I know. Okay. And all right. Here we have the recording. And what I can do now is pause this and scrub. So 1 is the second one. 2 is that one down here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 14. Okay, that looks like we've got it. And now I guess we switch back to the game and try to actually pull that off. Alright. So I hope they don't have a speed limit as well, otherwise I could just give this up. Oh, I guess one thing I can do is switch to mouse mode. And now I can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, thank God. Okay, you know, I've had some objections to some of the puzzles in this game. I found, you know, a few weren't obvious for me to understand. And this one, that's just a chore. Like, I don't know, it just feels like, I don't know, like the game doesn't give you the option. Like in Myst, what they would have done here is they would have given you a replay button, not a we give you a completely different sequence, but actually replay. Okay, so we've opened this and I have no idea. Oh, I guess we're missing a gear, and I think we had one. Wait, this one? Yeah, okay. Okay. I have no idea what I've done now. I guess we have to solve the puzzle over there to have this trigger, and then that would probably activate but rotate empty, and then we'd go here, open this up and put the gear in. Maybe they expected you to use a phone. Teachers also expect students to quickly copy from the whiteboard nowadays. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Like, I don't know. When I went to school, it was still all no phones out during lessons. And I've heard from people recently that that still seems to be the reason at many schools. So, like, I've actually heard from someone who had their insulin pump sitting on the table, and the teacher took it away, and I think it was even broken, which of course is expensive. In Myst, you felt like you advanced the story, and here you feel like you jumped through hoops. Yeah, it's I mean, it fits the story. This guy is testing us. Is this person smart enough? But honestly, it's not very enjoyable, that bit. Like, I figured it out. Don't give me a 14-note sequence to memorize. Especially, you know, like some people, and I think a few years ago maybe, I could have remembered the melody. But in other, you know, but not everyone has memory for notes, for melodies, and can then transfer them to 5 different buttons depending on how high the pitch is. And even I, who can usually memorize melodies if they're not too absurd and too fast, I would probably make a mistake. And then not being able to re-listen or something, I don't know. It seems, I don't know, I don't like this puzzle. Sorry. Dear makers of this game. But I think this is just cruel to players. You're thinking of university, not normal school? Yeah, I don't know. Our teachers mostly... I guess that was too long ago. So yeah, maybe they do that these days, yeah. You might be right. Still don't know what this lever is supposed to be for in the end. This rotating tower thing is fun, pretty idea. Okay, so what was this bloody puzzle? From number 5, number 3 is reachable with a knight's move. So now I need to know chess. Anyone know which way a knight? Knight is the horse, isn't it? So that means 1 forward, 1 diagonal. Isn't it? The sum of the numbers... Okay, I guess I'll have to note that down as well. Or maybe we'll just photograph it again. I would be curious if this game is new enough and if they actually thought that people would just use their phones anyway. But you know, why force people to use their phone? Why not just build it into the game? Or, you know, make it a little shorter. Like not 14 notes, maybe just 7 is enough. Or just do the first 2, you know? It's not as if people really enjoy playing Simon Says. 2 straight, 1 across, or the other way around. Okay. But was it 2 straight? I thought it was like this. Like, so it's 1, 2, including the starting one. Well, let's see. Sum of the numbers in the 3rd row. I guess that's this. Is 7. Number 4 stands alone in the column on the far left. Okay, so that means 4 has to be somewhere here. So we know this for certain. None of the rows can stand a number that's greater than the numbers in the rows below it. So that means... one and 2 have to be higher up. Maybe. Why does it? The problem with using a phone for this is that your phone will turn off if you don't use it for a while. So, like, you have to keep it thinking you're using it. If you add up all the numbers in the fourth column, 1, 2, 3, 4, the result is 3. So that means either 1 and 2 are in the fourth column, or 3. Let's put 3 in the fourth column for now. Number 5. Come on. What? I think my phone just... No idea. Ah, okay, yeah. So looks like my Photos app just crashed on the phone. Number 5 is the only one standing alone in both its row and column. Wait, what was the knight's move? From number 5, number 3 is reachable with a knight's move. 1, 2. That would work. Wait, but 1 can't be there. And 5 is alone in its column. Wasn't that what it said? If you add up all the numbers in the number 5 is the only one standing alone, both in its row and column. So let's see how close we are. From number 5, number 3 is reachable with the knight's move. So I think that's that. The sum of the numbers in the third row is 7. No, that doesn't work. Wait. Third row is 7. And 5 is both alone in its row and column. So that means 5... I don't think I have the brain for this anymore. Okay. Am I doing the right thing for a knight? Like, is this a knight move? 1 and 1 here? Or would 3 have to be up here for this to work? Would it be 1, 2, 3? I guess it would be that one, huh? I guess I'll just Google it. How does the knight move in chess? Like, half the websites... I hate when it's science, when it's a science to reject all the cookies. I just want a picture. You can just show me a picture. Okay. No, it's only 1. rate, I guess, from the 2 count. Yeah, from all examples that I see, it's always the starting location is counted as well. So that means this one can be down here. And my phone is off again. So 3. So this could be here or here. Well, the sum of the numbers in the 3rd row is 7. So that means 4 would have to be somewhere in the 3rd row, and 1 and 2 as well. Or 5 and 2. I think I should switch my settings so my phone doesn't turn off as quickly. Yeah. Somehow my phone was set to auto-lock after 30 seconds. A very secure setting, not very useful setting. So let's see, the sum of the numbers in the 3rd row is 7. So if either these or the 5 would be in the 3rd row. Okay. Number 4 stands alone in the column on the far left. Okay, so it can't be that. So 5 and 2 have to be in here. And what do we know about 3? So that means, whoops, 3 could be here, or there, or there, or there. Let's leave it like that for now. The 3rd row is 7. Wait, 5 is alone in his row and column. So that can't be it. Jeez, these are maths puzzles. So I think the previous one was better. Because we can't... No, wait, we can't do this, so let's put this here. And again, 3rd row is 7. 3. But this can only do 6. How can the 3rd row be 7? Oh, 3rd row, not 3rd column. So 3rd row is 7. Then 5 could be, for example, here. Or maybe here. Then 5 is alone in its column. Okay, let's see, number 4 is alone. If you add up all the numbers in the fourth column, the result is 3. So 5 can't be here. So then maybe it's there. So fourth column has to be 3. So either of these. Number 5 is alone both in its row and its column. That's kind of right. Knight's move from 5 to 3. Some of the numbers in the third row is 7. Number 4 is alone in the column on the far left. And none of the rows can stand a number that's greater than the numbers in the row below it. I don't think we can fulfill this here. So I guess we can move to here and 5 here, but then there's no knight's move anymore. And we need 7 here, and we need 4 somewhere alone in the left column. So if 4 is not here, then 5 and 2 must be in this row. What was... no, 4 is alone on the far left. And 5 is alone in its row and column. No, so we can't have a 5. We need to have 4 and 3 to get 7. So that's the third row. 4 and 3 have to be in the third row. So that would work. That just means from small numbers in top rows down to high numbers. If none of the rows can... in none of the rows can stand a number that's greater than the numbers in the row below it. But that means all the numbers, right? So 5 is smaller than 7, 2 is smaller than 5, 1 is smaller than 5. So yeah, sort of. 4 and 5 must be lower than 1. It's row, not column. Sum of the numbers in the third row is 7. Number 4 is alone. For number 5, 3 is reachable with a knight's move. If you add up all the numbers in the fourth column, the result is 3. Number 5 is the only one standing alone, both in its row and column. Yeah, I think we have it. But maybe not. I doing something wrong? Okay, again. From number 5, number 3 is reachable with a knight's move. We're going diagonal first and then straight. Not, or straight but diagonal, it doesn't really matter. The sum of the numbers in the third row is 7, and that's 4 and 3. That's correct. The number 4 stands alone in the column on the far left. That's true as well. In none of the rows can stand a number that's greater than the numbers in the row below it. I mean, that could be the problem with the 5. Wait, can I... Like, if it's then a number in the row below it, and not the numbers in the row below it, then I guess that works. Let's see, what 5? 5 could also be here. That's a knight move. It's alone and it's in its row and column. Third row. So maybe this. Not happy. Or below it. With all interpretations of these rules, I don't see 4 and 5. Ada, I'm not getting what you're saying. Either you're a little behind, of course, but like, the thing is, first, just to be picky, it says, in none of the rows can stand a number, so a single number, that's greater than the numbers in the row below it. So that means this should be correct. Because 5 is not greater than 7, the numbers below it. If it's like, if it was any number below it, then this would be wrong. But okay, let's assume it's any number below it and put it down here. So if I move it down and assume it's any number below it, so even individual numbers, then this should be correct, right? And 1 and 2 is 3, but there's nothing in the row below them. So the question is, can we move 1 and 2 down by 1? But then they still wouldn't be greater, but maybe empty row counts as 0. So can we do this? Let's see. From number 5, number 3 is reachable. The knight's move hasn't changed. The sum of the numbers in the third row, 1, 2, 3, and row goes across, is 7. 4 plus 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, not thinking wrong there. Number 4 stands alone in the column on the far left. That's true. None of the rows can stand a number that is greater than the numbers in the row below it. So 4 is smaller than 5, 3 is smaller than 5, 2 is smaller than 4, 1 is smaller than 4 or 3, so that would be correct. I don't know, let's try this. Still doesn't work. Doesn't this match? If you add up all the numbers in the fourth column, the result is 3. Oh. this is what we're breaking right now. The fourth column needs to be 3. So that means 1 cannot be here. Where... what is it with 1? Can I just put that here? No. The fourth column needs to be 3. So, again... number 5, 3 is reachable. Some of the numbers in the third row is 7. Number 4 is alone in the column. Okay, if you add up all the numbers in the fourth column, the result is 3. Number 5 is the only one standing alone in its row and column. Okay, that was it. Ah, now we have another gear here. Okay, you know, admittedly, it's a puzzle. It's logical. You can figure it out. It kind of belongs in a game like this. Personally, yeah, okay. I guess it's okay. But yeah, this is, okay. I had the 3 here wrong. Okay, so we've put the gears in here on both sides. Whatever that might do. I hoped that it would open something, but apparently that was just to get that gear in here. Do we have anything that looks like a circle, a key? With an L. I don't think so. Alright, I think I'll give this building another spin just to see if that changes anything. And then we're pretty much at the end of our stream anyway. I only just realized I think I can move, like, it moves my, yeah, I can look around a little bit in this movie. It's not just a movie. I did this a couple of times earlier and thought, oh, I was just at the ending. But it wasn't just that, I guess. Wait. Why does it suddenly turn differently? the extra gears make it turn differently? Oh. They did, and they made this work. Okay. Okay, so I guess this is done. Cool. Okay. That was... That's one of those puzzles that you just solve without knowing why. Okay. What we got is a classroom. Oh, and there's our last key. And some other key with like 4... Is this chalk or are those power things? And I guess these are wood designs. Where is here? Just so we don't miss anything. This looks... Okay, these things... Okay... Or maybe the heating thing goes there. Where is it? No. I guess we need a new torch. So, I guess this will be our mystery for next time. Can we still rotate it? I don't think so. I think that was already off at the top. Let's see. Oh. So we can have different lengths there. Huh. All right. I guess that'll be an interesting secret for next time. I'm not sure if I have anything that will connect to this yet. But all right. I guess these reflexive... okay. If we turn these on, they will beam into these lenses. That will probably go through the roof or something. Okay. But I guess that's it for now. Anyway, thank you everyone for being here. Thank you for all the questions, comments, hints, help. I guess we'll see what will happen with this next Sunday. So next week, again at 5 p.m. Central European Time, 8 a.m. PST, we will be playing more Quern. Also, I will probably do some more weekday streams. So, if that's something you're interested in, then, yeah, that is something we can definitely do. I will announce on Discord what exactly I'll be doing. So I still have one programming stream, so probably Monday at 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. We'll probably be doing the continuation of the parser programming stream, where we will be combining our parser and our bytecode interpreter so that the parser will actually spit out bytecode that the bytecode interpreter can run. And then probably will alternate that with Uncharted: The Lost Legacy on Tuesday, and depending on how long that takes us, I'm kind of thinking the way we've been going so far, I think we'll be finishing that game next week. So, and then we'll have to see what we do. The week after, Horizon Zero Dawn 2, The Forbidden West will be out. So I'm thinking about continuing weekday streams to play Horizon. We did Horizon Zero Dawn during our morning streams already, so it kind of fits to have that during the early streams. Although I think our morning streams back then were 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. or something like that. So not quite the same time. But anyway, since weekdays and weekend streaming is a little much, I'm thinking that at the end of Quern I'll probably take a break on the Sunday streams. We'll see. I'm still thinking, like, if I switch to Horizon on Sunday streams, then maybe you'll notice, okay, we'll just do Sunday streams. But otherwise, I don't want to do Sunday and weekday streams for a long time. I mean, we've done that previously, where I started, I think it was an Assassin's Creed game, Started playing that on weekdays and then retired the Sunday streams for a while. So we shall see. Anyway, have a great Sunday. I hope that your week will be great. Stay safe, stay healthy. Stay healthy. Words are hard. And, yeah, you know, charge into the week. Kind of like that. Have a good rest of Sunday, and hopefully see you Monday. Or otherwise next Sunday. Bye-bye.